Hi guys, you are welcome back to Significant Woman. Thank you so much for the great support that you have showed me. And if this is your very first time here, you are welcome to the family of Significant Women. And my name is Edith. I am very glad that you joined me today. So in life, I think most of us, or if not all of us, we have faced challenges in one way or another. And sometimes it is really tough on us that we do not know how we are going to get out of it. And sadly, for some, it has really ended up being so bad that they have gotten depressed, they've got mental illnesses, and for some, they have even put a permanent end to their lives. But one thing I've come to understand is that life is not supposed to be like that. Regardless of what we are going through, we are supposed to live life to its fullness. And so that is what we are going to talk about today, that how can we ensure that we continue to live happily or joyfully even when we are faced with difficult situations and difficult challenges. So about 4 years ago, there is a survey that was made, and it was revealed that about 14 million Ugandans had mental problems. And I think it has become like a coping mechanism for most of us in our countries, that when we have those funny things that are happening in our countries, we turn them into memes. Okay, not funny, but difficult situations actually. We turn them into memes, and somehow we just laugh about them, and life moves on, And so we would laugh about it with some of my friends. They're like, you could be the sick one, and something like that. But that could have been actually the truth, that me or my friends, we were part of people that were not mentally okay, because that is how life is. We go through a lot of circumstances, a lot of unpleasant experiences in life. And let me tell you, my dear friend, God does not really promise us a smooth sail at all. Jesus was telling his disciples that in this world you're going to face a lot of trouble. But then at least he encourages them that take heart, I have overcome the world. And that is supposed to be our posture as we go through life, that regardless of what we are going through, we are not going to allow ourselves to remain downcast, but we are going to soar above whatever we are going through and ensure that we live life according to the way God wants us to live. Because you see, Jesus tells us that he has come that we might have life in its fullness, and that is how we are supposed to live this life. Yeah. So today I'm really not talking about the circumstances, the challenges that we usually face. I'm not saying that those are not going to be there. No, I'm talking about how do we handle those feelings that tag along those situations and those unpleasant circumstances. Yeah, feelings like sadness or hopelessness or being discouraged or feeling downcast, feeling low in the spirit, getting distressed. Those are the ones that I am talking about, because I have come to learn that that is not part of the deal. God tells us that, you're going to face circumstances that are not pleasant. You're going to face challenges. You're going to, go through situations that are really not nice. But he doesn't tell us that then you will feel bad, then you will feel hopeless, and then you will cry. No, that is not part of the deal. And that is what I want us to be very, very intentional about. That regardless of what we are going through, we are not taking any other thing. We are going to live life in its fullness, even in those circumstances. So how do we do that? The first thing is to ensure that you have a strong support system around you. And I want to ask you, do you actually have friends, intimate, close friends, people that you trust, people that you are vulnerable with? And I'm not talking about having 100,000 followers. I'm talking about having real people that you see face to face, that you talk to, that know you by name, people that you can talk with and be vulnerable with, so that they can hold you in those moments when you are about to crash, when you are actually broken and in pieces. People who are going to help you gather those broken pieces and say, hey, we are here for you. And the other thing I would love you to embrace is talking about life. Because one thing I've realized is that when you are alone with this challenge and you keep thinking about it, you keep reflecting about it, there is a way it just keeps on getting big. It keeps on growing until you don't even know what to do, because it's like a whole giant in your face. But the other thing I've understood, that the moment I talk about any problem or challenge I'm facing, there is a way I get relief. There is a way I feel free, and the people I'm telling might not even have they might not have even any solution for me, or they might not even be able to do anything about it. But just the mere fact that I've talked about it, it really helps me a lot. So you really need to embrace talking about situations that you are going through. And sometimes you might not have the guts, you might really not feel like it. But one thing I know is that we don't have to depend on our feelings. Sometimes, even if you don't feel like doing it, you have to do it anyway, because you know that it is the right thing and the appropriate thing to do for your own sake. And also, when we talk about talking about our situations, friends, we are not talking about you posting on your social media and on your status to tell people how you feel depressed, how you feel sad, and how you feel lonely. No. That is really not an effective way of dealing with life. Actually, people don't care. Many of us are going to see your status, and just ask yourself, how many people view your status, those kinds of status, and actually reach out to you? There are few. There are very, very few. That's if anyone even reaches out to you. So why would you really... That even for some, it has caused a lot of problems, because you put it up thinking that some people will care and they don't, and then you go under and you feel even worse. So instead of you putting it out for the whole world to see, which is very ineffective, please find the right kind of people that you can talk to. And the other thing that you really need to do is to make sure that you deal with those feelings. Like I've said, we are going to face trouble, but the sadness, the hopelessness, the depression is not part of the deal. So the moment that you feel so depressed, you feel so discouraged, you feel so sad, you don't feel any peace, be intentional to deal with them, because that is the enemy taking advantage of whatever is happening so that he can destroy your life. Because the enemy has only three intentions, and he's going to pursue them. He wants to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And he's going to take any opportunity that he gets to do that. So sometimes we feel like, well, when I'm going through challenges, then I should feel sad. No, that is the enemy just wanting to take advantage of whatever you're going through, so that he can steal, so that he can destroy you, so that he can kill you. So do not give him an opportunity, please. Do not. In fact, you need to be very, very intentional, so that even in those circumstances, you still live life in its abundance, in its fullness, because that is what God tells us, that he has come, that we will have life in its fullness. So do whatever it takes to make sure that you get out of those feelings. The problem might take up some time for it to be solved. Things might not be well immediately, but always remember the sadness, those unpleasant feelings that you always get when you're going through that problem, they are not part of the deal. Because when Jesus tells his disciples, he tells them all these things, and then he says, I've told you these things so that you can have peace. In this world, you're going to face a lot of trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. For me, that encourages me, knowing that whatever trouble I am faced with, I'm supposed to be at peace. So the moment I'm not at peace, I know that that's not how it's supposed to be. So I have to make sure that I have that peace. Yeah, so make sure that you always so high and above the circumstances that you're going through. and you are at peace, you are joyful, life is still happening, and not out of pretense, but authentically, because you know that God has got your back. And even as you do all these things, I've really come to understand that before I even talk to my friends or anyone about my circumstances and what I'm facing, the first person I should run to is God. So, my dear friends, how is your relationship with God? Because remember, this life, this life is really not going to be a bed of roses. If it's going to be a bed of roses, there are going to be thorns in it. So how are you going to go through this life? And sometimes we don't even know what is ahead of us or what is coming. Sometimes the problems keep on getting worse and worse and worse. The only effective way you're going to go through it is if you have God on your side. So make sure that you strengthen your relationship with God, so that you're able to live and thrive, because He's the only one who can give us peace that lasts forever. He's the only one who can give you joy that cannot be shaken. He's the only one who can help you to stand firm and be still, so that you're not swayed by any situation or by any circumstance. And even when you're in those moments and you are really feeling like you're about to give up, go to Him. Or even before you feel like that, go to Him and ask Him for strength. But when you are really down, go to Him still and tell Him how you are and how you're feeling, and ask Him to help you. And when you do that, trust me, He will intervene, because I've seen it with my life, that the moment I go to God, sometimes things are really not shifting. And I go to Him and tell Him, God, I'm not having that peace. It is really not coming forth. Please help me. He has always helped me. And I am able to be still. I am able to go through whatever I'm facing until He deals with it, So make sure that you always run to God. That is how you're going to be able to face any situation or any circumstance that comes your way. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. And I pray that this has been helpful. And if it has, please share it with any person in your circles. Encourage them to listen in. And please do not also forget to subscribe. And I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.